Sonia was working late in her office when the receptionist called to inform her that a young woman was demanding to see her. First, Sonia thought it must be a client. But when the woman walked in, her hand resting protectively on her swollen belly, Sonia immediately felt a strange tension. The woman's eyes darted nervously around the office before landing firmly on Sonia. She introduced herself as Aisha, and then dropped the bombshell. She was pregnant, and the father was Sonia's husband, Raza. The words pierced Sonia like knives. For a moment she sat frozen, unsure whether to scream, cry, or laugh at the absurdity. Aisha seemed almost relieved after saying it, as if she had finally freed herself of a burden. Sonia forced herself to remain calm. Instead of reacting with anger, she offered Aisha a seat and poured her a glass of water. Inside, however, her heart was burning. She had always suspected Raza was hiding something, but to have his betrayal show up at her office in human form was another matter entirely. Aisha explained that Raza had promised to leave his wife, to start a new life with her and their child. But lately, he had been avoiding her calls, making excuses and treating her like a secret. Out of desperation, she had decided to confront Sonia, hoping it would push Raza into taking responsibility. Sonia listened quietly, her mind racing. In that moment she realized the power had shifted. She wasn't the abandoned wife, she was the one holding the cards. That night, Sonia didn't confront Raza immediately. Instead, she played her role as usual, watching him closely, noticing the guilt in his eyes every time he looked away. He had no idea that Sonia already knew everything. She decided revenge would taste better if served cold, carefully planned, and executed in a way that would leave scars deeper than any argument could. The next day, Sonia began her quiet revenge. She withdrew money from their joint account, shifting funds into her personal one. She contacted her lawyer friend and discreetly prepared divorce papers, ensuring she would leave the marriage with everything she was legally entitled to. At the same time, she reached out to Aisha again, inviting her for coffee. Instead of treating her as an enemy, Sonia treated her like an ally. Aisha was surprised but relieved. The two women spoke at length, and Sonia discovered that Aisha was not the cunning homewrecker she had imagined, but rather a naive girl who had believed Raza's sweet lies. Together they pieced together Raza's pattern of deceit, the late nights, the business trips, the money unaccounted for. The betrayal no longer belonged to Sonia alone. It had spread its poison into both their lives. When Sonia finally confronted Raza, it wasn't with screaming or tears. She handed him the divorce papers at the dinner table with an icy calmness that shook him more than any shouting could have. "You'll be free soon," she said. "Free to marry the woman carrying your child. But you won't have the house, the business shares, or me standing by your side anymore." His face turned pale, realizing his world was crumbling. Raza tried to beg, insisting Aisha meant nothing, that it was a mistake. But Sonia simply smiled bitterly. "She's not nothing. She's carrying your child. And I hope you're man enough to be the father you promised her you would be." Her words cut deeper than anger ever could. She had stripped away his power, leaving him exposed in his lies. Weeks later, Sonia finalized the divorce and walked away with her dignity intact and her future secure. Raza, meanwhile, struggled under the weight of his decisions. Aisha, now visibly pregnant, demanded the stability he had promised, but he could no longer juggle his lies. The house, the comfort, the respect, everything had slipped through his hands. Sonia, however, blossomed in her new life. Free from betrayal, she discovered a strength she hadn't known she possessed. She started her own business with the money she had secured, and slowly, she rebuilt herself from the ashes of her broken marriage. People admired her calm resilience, unaware of the storm she had endured. One day, Sonia heard through acquaintances that Raza was living a miserable life, weighed down by responsibilities he wasn't prepared for, while Aisha struggled to trust him fully. Sonia felt no pity, only closure. She had loved him once, but his betrayal had freed her to find a better version of herself. In the end, Sonia's revenge wasn't about destroying Raza. It was about showing him what he had lost. He had traded loyalty for lies, and now he had to live with the consequences. Sonia walked away not as a broken wife, but as a stronger woman, her silence and dignity delivering the sweetest revenge of all.